Welcome back to the Giant Rugby League show. Myself, Jordan, here today with our latest member, Barney. He's decided that he wanted to join the podcast today, so we're giving it a go. But yeah, in all seriousness, feel free to like and subscribe. All support is much appreciated. And we'll just get stuck in, Barney. What do you reckon? Yeah, happy to go, Barney. Barney, happy to go. We'll crack on then. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we'll just start off with the latest Rugby League news now. Kind of what's come out over the last 7 days, kind of thing. Obviously, Brian McDermott, New England head coach. I think it's a great appointment for England, especially with him working over in the NRL. I think it's probably, in terms of kind of the short term, it's probably the best thing for us moving forward. And we can see what comes from that. Obviously, Jake Connor, there's been a lot of talk about him in the last few days about how he's going to do at England. Is he going to play? If I'm being honest, I think from kind of what he's come out and said early on, I think he's probably going to be one of the halves. I'm not too sure who's going to play alongside him. I mean, I think that's kind of open to suggestions at the moment. I mean, yeah, let us know what you think. It'd be interesting to know. Does he go kind of with the Jake Connor, Mikey Lewis scenario where you've probably got two halves that, full of creativity, aren't they? But you're probably not going to have that consistency and the sets every single time. So whether you go down that route or not, I'm not too sure. Obviously, George Williams has picked up a big injury. Whether he plays again for Warrington this season is another question. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. In other news, obviously, Cass, couple of signings in the last couple of days. Dupree, I think, much needed signing for Castleford overall. It's definitely something they needed. They needed some meat up front. Like that, I think that's definitely where they've been lacking. I don't think that'll come as kind of any surprise to Castleford fans. It's exactly what they've been lacking. And obviously, Westerman's out injured now, so. Yeah, it makes sense. Obviously, Wigan releasing him out of his contract early. Does that mean that they're going to be bringing somebody in? I'm not too sure. It's whether they've freed up some space on that salary cap, because obviously they've got key injuries and kind of the way that they're going at the moment. I mean, yeah, but I've not seen Wigan like this for a long time. I think we'll see a big reaction from them this weekend. Thought I was expecting to see one at the weekend, but just didn't quite happen. Didn't materialise. Again, another injury to Marshall. Players all over the shop. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, front runners at the moment, Leeds and Saints. It's hard to look past those two. Saints, Rowley knows exactly what he's doing. He's gone playing well. We'll see how that goes. In terms of Leeds, yeah, they're flying high at the moment. They're looking pretty unstoppable, but just they need to keep up that consistency. And then you've got Hull KR who are creeping in, as they do. They're just starting to pick up now. They're looking pretty comfortable in most of the victories. So we'll see how that one. Yeah, as you can see, the co-host has had enough now, so it's just me this week. We'll kind of move on now. Just look a bit more into the Huddersfield Giants this season and kind of moving forward. They've got a lot of players that are off contract. At the end of this season, again, no head coaching at the moment, and I think that's probably why we're sat in this position where are we re-signing these players? What are we doing with these players? I think we're waiting until a head coach comes in, and then him and Andy Kelly can kind of sit down and look at, right, where we going, what's our recruitment looking like moving forward, because at the moment everything's on hold, and for me, we don't want to get too complacent. We don't want to start every other side is starting to do their recruitment now. We don't want to be that side that's kind of getting to back quarter of the season, not done any recruitment, and then it's like, what players are actually available, kind of where are we going to improve and when are we going to get better, which is obviously very important. And some of the players that we've got off contract, I mean, I'll just kind of do a bit of a stick or twist here. Who would I want to keep and who would I let go? We've got Adam Clue, obviously captain, leader. We're nowhere near the side without him. Obviously, injury-wise, touch wood, since he's come back, it looks good. We've been careful with his minutes, like Wigan and York. Once the game was won and there was kind of 15, 20 minutes to go, we took him off, which was a sensible thing to do. I think against Against Leeds, he had a poor game. No, sorry, not against Leeds, against the League. He had a poor game, and I think you could see that. I think once when he was having a poor game, it just put a lot more reliance on Tui in that side, and he's miles off it at the moment. Yeah, Adam Clune, if he stays fit, is 100% a player I'd look to keep. I'd look to get him signed under another contract. How long the term we go, I'm not too sure, just because his injury record isn't great. And again, we can't afford to have marquee player on marquee money out injured for most of the season again next year. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, that. I mean, I'd definitely offer him a new contract, but again, it probably is a bit of a gamble. Adam Swift, if I'm being honest, I think the club's going in a different direction now with the signings we've made in the backs. Douglas is here on loan. Whether they look at doing that long term, I'm not too sure, but I like what he's about. He looks a good young player. And the type of player that the Giants probably want to go for. Young, got a lot to learn, but he's relishing his opportunity when he is getting it, and I think he's doing himself no just service. Guy, I mean, I'd be signing up. He'd be getting under a new contract right now. He looks like he's playing for a new contract, whether that's at the Giants or somewhere else. He's been probably our star man so far. So yeah, 100%. I'm giving him a new contract, no questions asked. Kieran Rush, bit of a weird one, really. Kieran Rush. For me, this year, he came in as that 14th man. He was on the bench once Clune and Tui back for a couple of games. For one game. Yeah, for one game. For the Wigan game, he was on the bench, came on and covered for Wolford, and I thought he did a good job. I think he's a bit unlucky to be missing out to Russell, to be honest. I think Rush offers more coming off the bench to replace Wolford than Russell does, and Russell had his opportunity when Clune was out. He had that opportunity to be one of the halves, and he didn't take it. His kicking and his decision making wasn't good enough. So, but yeah, I mean, Kieran Rush is a weird one. Whether he wants to stay or not, I'm not too sure. I'm sure he's at that age now where he's got aspirations to be playing a lot more. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But I think that's probably going to be more down to the player whether he resigns or not. I think the Giants would resign him, but I don't think he's going to do that. Koza, if I'm being honest, he's not got me off my seat once yet since he's been playing. Wakey fans seem pretty. Yeah, when we announced the signing, Wakey fans seem pretty good to see him go. But he's just offered nothing so far. He's too alike some of his other forwards. You've got kind of Koza, King, English. Those three players are very much the same type of player, and King's just a better version of them both. So, yeah, I think we probably let Koza go. I think it's probably not worked out as we wanted to. Obviously, Robbo saw him as that 14th man replacing Wolford, but did that for one game and then wasn't really a fan. So, yeah, I don't think that gamble's really paid off. And again, another forward, Matty English, it's his testimonial this year. He's been a huge servant for the Giants. He's done a fantastic job over his career. He's a fantastic guy, to be honest. He's lovely. When I've spoken to him, he's a lovely guy. Very down to earth, and I'm glad he's got this testimonial. Yeah. I don't think we're re-signing him, and I think that's probably the best decision moving forward for the club. I think he deserves to be going out there and playing more minutes, and I just don't think he's going to get that at the Giants. So I think he goes, which I think is a good decision for the club. And I also think it's a good decision for him because there'll be definitely some clubs like you likes of Bradford, Toulouse, London. If they come up, I think he'd be a great signing for them because when he's fit, he's a good player, and he does a fantastic job for the team. Tanner Milne, yeah, I'm definitely not re-signing him. I think he's lucky to be in a share at the moment. He's played well in second row a couple of times when he's come on, but marquee player, marquee money, came as a centre. His defence is nowhere near what it needs to be, if I'm being honest. I think when he plays in the centre, sides target that side because they know he comes rushing out the line and they know he gambles and you can get around him too easily. Again, him and Tue on that side together, it just doesn't work because neither of them are good enough in defence. So, yeah, for the money he's probably on. I think we'll let him go and we try and replace him. And then that leads me on to Tui. Yeah, a bit of a weird one, Tui. I love him at times, but he's too hot and cold for me. He's far too hot and cold. He's not consistent enough, and he just hasn't been consistent enough in a Giants shirt. He's been here long enough now. He's in a bad vein of form at the moment. I'm not going to lie, which might kind of sway my decision. He's kind of getting targeted in his defense when teams are attacking, they're running at him, because he's missing tackles for fun. But when he's hot, he's fantastic, and he's a game changer. But just that consistency for me, and when you've had Clune out for so long, and then you've got Ollie Russell coming in, who's kind of not the same level. You were looking for him to kind of strap his boots on and kind of take the team forward and lead on the pitch. And for me, he's just not done that. His kicking's not been good enough, and his defense has not been good enough, which is 2/3 of the game. You're attacking. As much as your attacking might be good, if your defense is poor and your kicking's poor, kind of, it's 2/3 of your game, and I don't think it's good enough. So for me, there'd be a lot of changes this recruitment cycle for the Giants if it was my decision. I'd be interested to see how it goes, and I think it'll depend on who comes in as a head coach, whether how much say they have on that, and kind of what the board think overall. Obviously, there has been a lot of loyalty to players at Giants, and sometimes probably too much loyalty. But we want to push forward, we want to progress, and the only way we're going to do that is by replacing players with better players, and that's got to be done. And I'd like to see a mix of young players going through. I like what they've done with Patolo and O'Donnell. I think Patolo's definitely miles better in the second row than he is a forward. It is miles better once we've got O'Donnell and Patolo both in the second row. And I like that the way that they're going down the younger overseas route. So I'd like to see that with a mix of kind of British experienced Super League players in this recruitment cycle. So we'll see how that goes. I'll just quickly run through kind of the games now from the last round. Hull KR convincing win at Bradford. I think everybody saw that coming. I don't think there were any surprises. I think even Bradford fans would have expected that. 48 points again. It's a lot of points to be shipping for Bradford, but at the same time, Hull KR are firing at the moment. They're picking up those wins. They're looking consistent and they're scoring points. I mean, I think they scored 50 the week before against Toulouse. Scored 40 odd against us in the league as well. So, yeah, they're starting to hit the form and going forward, aren't they? So it'd be interesting to see how they do. Obviously, they had the bad start, but yeah, they're climbing that table, and they're definitely a side to be wary of moving forward. Big game on Saturday was kind of St Helens Wakefield. Again, I think it's another kind of statement victory for Saints, because Wakey were coming into that in good form, looking good, playing really well. I really like Sinfield, what he's doing for Wakey. I think he's found a good home there. I think he's kind of making his mark. I think it made sense for him to leave Leeds. Unless you were going to be better than Kevin Sinfield, which 90%, 95% chance you're not going to be. You're never going to get those plaudits from Leeds fans. So going to Wakefield, I think he's showing what he's about, and I think it's a really good signing for those guys. I think he's doing really well there. But yeah, I mean, Saints, Rolly knows what he's doing, doesn't he? He just manages to pick up victories wherever he's coaching, whatever side he's got. And the amount of injuries Saints have got to be in that top 2, top 3 most weeks now, it's a credit to his coaching skills. So yeah, I mean, they're looking really strong as players come back, as that they are starting to do now. It'll be interesting to see how they go forward. Is it going to be one of those when everybody's back, you probably see them drop off slightly because people like Sailor, are they then going to go back into the halves where, let's be honest, is better at fullback? Like, probably a blind man could see that watching the game. So it'll be interesting to see how they go when all the players come back. Hull FC, huge win against Castleford. Huge win was that. Much needed for them. Castleford to be shipping 50 points against Hull, which have I've got a lot of forwards missing, and they looked clunky in attack the last few weeks. I think that's a huge victory for them boys. But Cas fans, if I were a Cas fan, I'd be very worried right now. Um, that's not what a scoreline you want to be seeing, especially against the side where head coach had just gone. Clubs a bit all over the shop. Everybody's talking about them. Players weren't happy that the head coach was going. So yeah, but Andy Last, he knows what he's doing at Hull FC, doesn't he? So I think if McNamara can keep him on, they'll work well together. I think. Leeds Rhinos now, obviously, another comfortable victory against Catalans. They're just a good side, Leeds, at the moment. They're a tough one to crack, and I think if they can stay consistent, they are the side to beat in the league. No questions asked. They're keeping everybody fit. Brad Arth has come out today and said it's the same 17, 18-man squad. Prezzo Cassell will be 18th man again. I mean, Prezzo Cassell came on loan to us for a game against Bradford and he was best player on pitch. And he can't even get in there 17th. So it just shows how strong they are at the moment. The S&C, the fitness that they've done in the off-season, the strength where they've done, it's coming to roost now, isn't it? And it's showing every other team's got players out left, right and centre, and Leeds are firing, no questions asked, and they've got everybody fit. Warrington beating Wigan. I mean, Wigan, what's going on with them at the moment? Yeah, they look... I'm shell-shocked when I'm watching them. I get that obviously both halves are out and they're down on troops, but they just look all over the place. And when December's running at little lad Irwin at Warrington and Irwin's standing up to him and putting him back, oh yeah, it's not a good sign for Wigan at the moment. They're just in that kind of, they're struggling, aren't they? They're in a bit of a rut, and one thing I do like about Wigan, and kind of I'll give them credit for, is kind of when players are missing and when players are injured, they don't go in that loan market really. They don't go look to replace people when they've got injuries. They look to trust the youth and bring that through. Obviously, short-term pain, long-term gain. It's one of those, and they're gonna have a side that's competing for titles year in year out as it goes on, because the youngsters are getting experience dipping in and out. But yeah, as far as this year is concerned, depending on when they get Bevan French back, I mean, yeah, it's a weird one. But then again, you'll get into playoffs and they'll have a fully fit side and they'll be the side to beat. So they need to improve. But yeah, Warrington, another really good victory for them, and especially with Williams out, new house partnership that hasn't played together yet, performed really well. Kai Taylor went down with an injury. See what happens with him, but I mean, when you put Fulis at fullback, wow, he looked like he could play fullback for any other team in the league, apart from probably Leeds and their own team. But yeah, what a player he is, by the way. And again, signed a new long-term contract. It's a great signing for Warrington to keep him on the books. Thursday night games, obviously Giants defeat at Lee. Very disappointed, very, very disappointed, and kind of what Lynn Flynn came out after the game and said resilience. I mean, kind of me and Nathan have been saying this for the last 2 years. There's not enough balls in that training room at all. Like, I mean, there were 25 minutes to go. Yeah, game was probably gone, but there was still 25 minutes to go, which is a large chunk of time. People don't want the ball. Like, it's half-assed. And yeah, we're not big on numbers in fans, and we don't take many to away games, but like, play for the shirt, play for the badge, play for the supporters that are going and watching those games, because tough stuff like that, it's just not good enough. You're a professional sportsman, kind of, you pay to do this for a living, and half-assed with 25 minutes to go and not wanting the ball, you're playing the wrong sport, and you're definitely playing for the wrong team. So yeah, I'm expecting they need a rollicking, and kind of whoever head coach comes in, kind of, it can't be sunshine and roses for 2 weeks, beat Wigan, beat York, get battered by Leeds, and then go to Lee, big game, a team that aren't in form, and as arses fallouts. Yeah, extremely disappointed with that game on Thursday, and I'm glad I didn't do the match review on our socials, because I was raging, and I think Nathan did quite a calm one. We've got to sort it out. We've got we've got to man up a bit when it's not going our way, when it's tough, when we're grinding, when we're going to lose a game. Let's still give it some fight. Like, just play for all those fans that are travelling all over. It's a working man sport. It's not a sport where fans are travelling around with tons of money in the pocket. It's a bit of blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, we might be low on numbers, but I want to see a bit more fight from the Giants, and kind of that starts this weekend. York, big win against Toulouse. That I think probably, I can't decide who needed that more. Probably York did need that more, because the last few weeks they've been poor. I mean, once they played the Giants, they looked to it all over the place, to be honest. So that's a huge victory for them. But kind of Toulouse now, they're starting to drop off. Obviously, Dupree's left. Where do those guys go now? Because obviously they're not. We've been over there. We've been in Toulouse, not over here. It's not where you can go and get players on a week's loan. It's a bit different, isn't it? So it'd be interesting to see how they shape up as the season goes on. But at the moment, yeah, they're in a bit of a rut, bit like ourselves, and they need some victories, don't they? Move on to the fixtures now. Hull KR at home to Castleford. Again, probably another 50-pointer for Hull KR. That if they play like they have been doing, I don't see how they don't ship 30-40 points past Cass, especially at home. It's a tough place to go, and we went last year to watch. Yeah, it's hostile. They create a really good atmosphere, especially when kind of behind one of the goals and behind one of the posts. It's not even a stand. There's burger vans. Like, yeah, they create an atmosphere, and you feel like you're in a cauldron when you're playing there, I imagine, as a player. So yeah, I think comfortable win for KR there. Leeds Wakey, again, I think Leeds win this game, but it'll be a tight game. Wakey a good side. I see him in that top 6 now. I don't see him dropping out of that. I think they stay there, and I think they're in the playoffs this year. I think they're a good side, and I like what they're doing there. Fantastic owner. He's done it the right way, and they've gone down and they've worked on everything: ground, players, standards, head coach is fantastic. Darryl Powell. So yeah, they're going about it the right way, and they're a good side, and a side that I quite enjoy watching, to be honest. St Helens against York, routine victory for Saints. I don't think there's much more to say on that. Saturday's game, Wigan against Bradford. I mean, wow, do Wigan need a win? Yes, they do. Do Bradford need a win? Yes, they do. I think Bradford will make it a nasty game, to be honest. I think that's probably the best way to approach this at the moment. Kind of, yeah, make it a tough, dirty game where you want to see if people want to be there or not. I think that's probably the best way Bradford could go about winning this game. I think they probably are going to struggle now, especially with Mellor being out. I think, obviously, I've had my criticisms of Bradford. I've voiced my opinions on them, but the way that they started in the league, they started pretty well. And fair play to them, but they're dropping off now. And when you watch Mellor play for Bradford, they were a different side. No questions asked. They were a different side. So it'll be interesting to see how they go on now. But yeah, I think Wigan win this. I don't know by how many points, so I think it'll be an interesting one. Catalan against Lee. I think Catalan win this. I think they need the win at home. Lee, big win last weekend for them, but they weren't great, if I'm being honest. We were just shite. But they weren't great. They've not been great all season. And going to Catalan. Yeah, I think Catalan will win that. But I think it'll be quite a close game, to be honest. Giants at home to Warrington. I'd love to say Giants win. I'd love us to do what we did to Wigan, where nobody's expecting it and we go and win. But I mean, as a prediction, you can't really predict Giants to win that game, can you? I mean, Warrington are firing. They look good, really good in attack. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go Warrington win on this. But I'd absolutely love us to go to beat those guys at home. And I'm looking forward to being down there and watching. Again, this is what I'm saying. We're playing Warrington. It's going to be a tough ask. If we are down and we're going down, let's go down fighting. Let's not roll over on 60th minute mark and not want the ball. I want to see some fight by the boys. And again, like I've been saying about players earlier that are out of contract, you might be playing for a contract at another club as well, rather than just here. So some players really need to step up. Been saying it for a couple of weeks now, but whether they do or not is another question. Hull home to Toulouse. I think Hull win again. I think they'll get 2 out of 2 in the last 2 weeks. I don't see how Toulouse win that game. They've dropped off, haven't they? Lost players. So yeah, I think Hull FC win that game comfortably. And I think it's just what those guys need. So yeah, that rounds up this week's show. Obviously, Nathan sends his apologies. Work commitments, one of those things. It is what it is. That comes first. But don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are still here, thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.